Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. I should be audible now, but I'm trying to get my actual microphone to work, so bear with me. Okay, so this this kind of oh, hi Rando. Yeah, it's a scuffed stream, I know. I'm just trying to figure out how to... Yes, okay, hold on. Okay, okay, I got the... Yes, I got my mic to start working. Hey Rando, you're about to play some... Cool! Well, so I wanted to talk about my theories as I try and do the next route. So my zero theories are that I'm pretty sure. I think I can say that I'm pretty sure that Akane is zero. I assume I now do 4-door Chiki. I'm pretty sure Akane is zero, but I'm also thinking maybe that she like somehow doesn't know it, or like turn myself up. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the game down because it's really loud to me. Hold on. No, I'm not gonna do that because I can't figure out how to do that. ABS. There, I turned myself down. Then you can just... Yeah, okay. Yeah. So my theory is maybe there's something that's happening along the lines of what Lotus was talking about in that one room where she talks about how maybe brains are wireless or something. So Akane is like somehow zero, but also in a different place at the same time, because the zero bracelet gave the zero bracelet gave the number 6, right? Like when you put it through, it became 6. See, go yeah. And also, I think Akane was one of the kids that got kidnapped and put in that death game, but somehow I don't know how Ace wouldn't know. Okay. I agree with June. We should steal it. Oh my god, I forgot this puzzle. No. Okay. Shower curtains, huh? Toilet. Elephant. Matches.
how's your fever? You feeling better now?
Oh yeah, and that was it. I think the fever is when like Zero is like using a lot of energy, and that's taking that out of real Akane or something.
Yes.
Let me see your forehead.
Oh yeah, if I just Cheeky, if I just click every single tile, will I get it? Hey, come on, it's not like that.
Hey, come on. It's not like that.
I guess you haven't changed at all, Jumpy. By the way, Jumpy, how did you end up here?
What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I?
There was a man with a gas mask when you got home at night. You inhaled some white smoke and passed out. When you woke up, you were on D-Deck.
Damn straight.
But is that really the truth,
What?
Jumpy? Were you hiding something from me?
No.
Well, if you think about it, I mean...
Alternatively, because a couple of other characters have gotten brief fevers, I think maybe another alternative is that Zero also just has the ability to give people fevers whenever it's most convenient.
Well, I don't know.
You mean, like... Do you want to... Don't worry. Only times 0. Yeah, I guess I just haven't met Mr. Right yet.
Epic Akane joke right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, just like
I don't know if Zach's going to be playing Roblox that much for a while away.
Look for what
I'm too
connects
loud, okay. Yeah, but I'm being too loud over a stupid Akane Junpei scene, so it's fine. It's morally fine to be too loud over that.
Do you remember Seven saying...
Yeah, I do. So?
Hey, what am I talking... Oh, okay. Just kidding. Oh, I didn't want to pick... No, I'm so sick of the maps. Dude, the worst part of this game? Maps.
Yeah.
Easy.
Must be one of those...
Of course, everything
Second
in-
worst part of the game is every time Junpei and Akane have a romantic moment.
Do you think maybe this...
I doubt he would have... Do you think this boat is a replica of the Titanic?
A replica?
Yeah, you know, like a copy of the actual boat.
Who on earth would make something like that?
Fans. Crazy Titanic fans.
No way. Do you even know how much money that would take?
No idea. But all they've got to do is break even, you know?
Break even?
Yeah, they could use it as a cruise ship. Climb aboard, a piece of history. Hell, with marketing like that.
Do you really think people would want to... It's the site of the worst accident in history. Over 1,500 people died. I wouldn't be surprised if you'd get cursed just for going.
You really... Yeah, you're right, Samranda. You do have to be a professional cartographer to play this game.
A curse?
Jumpy, do you believe...
Yeah, well, I guess... what about... No, I guess...
Yes, I do believe in curses. In fact, I think it was a curse that sunk the Titanic.
What?
Yeah, Akane is a professional Titanic fan. So is Zero. Zero could have funded this. And that's another reason why Akane is Zero. Both Titanic fans.
A curse sank the Titanic.
The maps are so annoying.
The curse of the Egyptian mummy. Supposedly, which was stolen from a pyramid. And they say everyone involved, come on, I'm sure those who opened the coffin.
So you're saying the Titanic...
That's right! That mummy, supposedly, she was...
What do you mean?
Well, supposedly, she was really pretty.
pretty?
Yes,
But...
that's right. She wasn't all shriveled.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, it's that thing. I don't remember the name. The fat in it turns into something kind of like candle.
Yes, saponification. But that's not what it was.
Yes, Junpei, obviously everyone knows about saponification.
Huh?
That's not...
Then what was it?
They say...
What?
That's right. You know how a human body... Well, all of that what the story says. Even though it was...
That's crazy.
I think so too, but...
I didn't know.
Yep.
Huh? Nah, that seems too silly to be true.
But maybe it isn't. It just appears that way because you didn't know it was true.
What? Ice that doesn't melt? No, even if it...
Is it this one? Yippee! I did it. It's so sad that you told me about how dumb the mummy was beforehand, because otherwise everyone who plays this game blind thinks the Egyptian mummy was going to step out of that coffin. Permafrost is permafrost because it's in like... It's not that ice can't melt, it's that it's in temperatures and like pressure that makes it not melt. I think so too. They really should have just straight up stolen some of the stuff on the ship. Yeah, there's a character in this game called Santa. They're all going. Everyone except for Junpei are going by nicknames, and the nicknames are all based off of the numbers they got assigned. And so Santa says, "quote Any of you chumps know Japanese? In Japanese, San means 3, so I'll be Santa." So that's why we have Santa here. Oh yeah, Cheeky, is there anything specific I need to do in this room, or do I just need to solve it? Oh yeah, do you guys have any recommendations for things that I can put in my lunchbox to take to uni this week?
Hey,
Next week?
Junpei, you got it?
Hmm?
Here, take this.
A bookmark? What is this for? Do you want me to read a book?
I found it in between some of the cushions on the sofa. Pretty sure it ain't gonna be any help to us, but I figured we might as well hang on to it anyway.
Then why don't you hold on to it?
Santa gave him a wry smile.
You know what I hate most in the world? I got 4 things. Hope, faith, love, and luck.
Hope, faith, love, and luck?
Damn straight.
And you hate these things?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
Not really, but
Junpei tried to figure out how to best phrase what he wanted to say.
what does a bookmark have to do with any of that?
Santa scratched the back of his ear and looked awkward.
Well, see, each leaf on the 4-leaf clover has a meaning to it, okay? And that meaning is pretty much those 4 words. It's like flower language. Well, I guess it's not a flower, is it? So, leaf language, I guess? Yeah, you could call them leaf words.
Leaf words.
Junpei looked at the bookmark.
Hope, faith, love, and luck. The meaning of the leaves on a 4-leaf clover.
So, yeah, I want you to take it, okay? Just touching it gives me the creeps. Take the damn thing, alright?
Santa pretended to shiver with disgust and shoved the bookmark into Junpei's confused hands.
Here.
What do you want to do? Cheeky, do I take it or not? I assume I take it? Because I took it last time, but I also assume that it's the key that I need. Dun, 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 dun. Damn straight. Dun, 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 dun. Cool.
Alright, sure. I'll take it.
He shoved the thing into his pocket and gave Santa a last confused look.
Oh, man, I feel a lot better now. That thing was a real pain, you know?
Do you really hate those 4 words that much?
Yeah, well, they can all betray you, you know? Hope, faith, love, even your destiny.
What had happened to Santa, Junpei wondered. How had he become such a bitter person? For a moment they looked at each other.
Well, that's not my only reason.
What?
That's not the only reason I hate the 4-leaf clover. I just can't bring myself to like the number 4.
What, worried about the 4 horsemen?
Nah, come on, man. That's just silly. Maybe back in the Dark Ages that kind of crap scared people. But this is the 21st century. And I'm a 21st century guy. I'm a little insulted.
Then why do you hate 4 so much?
'Cause it's a half-ass number. Not the best or the worst. That's why.
What?
9 is a way better number. So what if it's last place, right? At least it's not some lame-ass middle number.
What are you...
It's kind of rules. Santa's exclamation made no sense. Junpei was even more confused than before.
You play?
play?
You play? You mean like the stock market?
You mean like the stock market?
Nah, that's not what I mean. Why the hell would you think that?
I don't know, Santa. You look like the kind of guy that plays the stock market.
I mean, yeah, I do stocks too.
What?
But
I was joking. Santa does the stock market. This last statement, more or less thrown away by Santa, caught Junpei very much by surprise.
You? A stockbroker?
Holy shit.
yeah, got a problem with that?
No, you don't look like the type.
What Junpei didn't say, of course, was that he didn't think Santa looked smart enough to be a stockbroker. You don't need, to be fair, Junpei, common misconception, you don't need to be smart to be a successful stockbroker. You need to already be rich.
Man, that stuff's just like gambling, you know?
At least Santa understands that it's just gambling.
All you gotta do is bet on the winning horse. Nothing that hard about it.
You sure sound pretty confident.
Dude. Santa does stocks. That's incredible.
So, are you betting on winning horses?
Of course I am. You remember a couple years back when the stock for Cradle Pharmaceuticals shot through the roof? Stacked a few bills over that, if I do say so myself.
Huh.
This is such vital lore that I may have never got. This is hysterical. This is so vital to the way I picture Santa. Aha, was all Junpei could think of. He'd never even heard of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Fortunately, he was saved quickly from further embarrassment.
Hey, how long are you gonna stand around wasting time? Stop screwing around.
Dude, Santa's being involved in insider trading. The voice screaming at them from the other room is unmistakably Lotus's. Junpei and Santa looked at each other.
The lady has spoken.
Santa sighed.
We better get back to work before we really piss her off. I don't want her beating me up.
And with that, Santa walked off slowly.
Hey, wait! We weren't done!
Lotus appeared from the next room, blocking his path. I can't believe he does stocks!
Okay, I'll get back to work. Damn it.
Aglaia suggested that any other choice would not have ended pleasantly for him. Junpei mumbled to himself under his breath and went back to his search. Santa does stocks! Stocks! He's in the stock market! He's doing insider trading. Okay. That's not it. Yes! I did it! It's a hole in the wall. Also, I'm still curious as to what that sound that Snake can hear in that one scene is.
What's the deal with this picture anyway?
You like to think that this is the Christmas Santa and the reason he's able to give kids presents is stocks. That's so real.
I think I've seen this picture before.
Where?
In a book. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. I saw this picture in his book.
What's this interesting theory?
Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Man, I can't deal with this. Just listening to you talk about it is giving me a headache.
Santa put his hands on his head as though he were in great pain. Lotus merely arched an eyebrow in his direction and continued.
It's not a difficult concept to grasp. In essence, he states that the shape of living organisms and their behavioral patterns are transmitted through a field not visible to the eye.
What part of that isn't difficult, exactly?
Lotus did not look pleased.
All right, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
Telepathy?
Yes, well, perhaps not exactly telepathy, but it's close enough for a simple approximation.
Santa suddenly burst into laughter.
Are you serious? Telepathy? Who do you think we are? Kids from the 70s? I can't believe someone would actually do serious research on something like that.
Yes, I agree.
Lotus's response was surprisingly curt. Junpei had expected at least some conflict.
I read the book, but I can hardly say I understood it. I'm in no position to defend or condemn anything it said. It was probably just someone latching onto a statistical outlier from some study and turning it into a ridiculous theory. There's no scientific merit to any of it, I'm sure. But even so, Anyway, I saw a picture like that one in his book.
Lotus indicated the picture they'd all been looking at. After a moment, she walked up to the strange picture, examined it, and then spoke.
Hey, what do you think this picture looks like?
What do you mean? Isn't it just like abstract or something like that? It's just black and white scribbles. There's no meaning there. That's it.
What about you, Junpei? Does it look like anything to you?
I guess it looks like...
Oh, I remember what this is. Oh man, I'm still having trouble seeing it even though I know what it is.
A Funya Rinpa. See? I mean, this totally looks like one. Here and here.
What the hell is a Funya Rinpa?
What do you mean? What the hell is a Funya Rinpa? You mean you don't know?
How the hell would I know?
Yeah, people have definitely studied telepathy in earnest. Like, even like actual scientists have probably tried to study it just to see if it's real or not. Like,
How could you not know? That's practically blasphemous. Oh, say you're sorry. Apologize to the Funya Rinpa. Goodness, you are such a rude woman.
Junpei, are you just screwing around? Forget it. I'm just gonna tell you. This is a dog. See? Like this.
oh, I see it now. I see it. I can finally see it again.
So, now we know what it's a picture.
A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. They took two similar pictures. Both of them were difficult to identify, initially. But once you figured out the answer, these two pictures. The first was a woman wearing a hat. The other one, well, let's just say it was this picture of a dog. So, their experiment. First, they sent the picture to other parts of the world, outside the reach of British airwaves. To Ireland, the US, Africa, Europe, etc.
Ireland would have still seen it.
Then,
by the
in
way.
each country, they gathered a number of test subjects. Roughly 1,000 people.
Not enough for a proper study.
They were shown the two pictures and asked, what does this picture look like to you? The results weren't really interesting on their own. 9.2% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. 3.9% saw the dog in the dog picture. Then, 2 days later, they aired a new program. During the 30-minute show, they broadcast the dog picture and its solution. The audience was estimated to be 200,000 people. After the broadcast, it was a safe bet that the number of people who knew the solution to the dog picture was at least that many. After another 2 days passed, they gathered more research subjects from areas outside the reach of British TV and radio. This time, they only found a sample of roughly 850 people. Naturally, none of them had participated in the first. They were, however, given the same tests and the results were startling. 10% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. The previous test sat at a 9.2% success rate. Not much of a change statistically.
Yup.
The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The percentage of people able to successfully find the dog, it went from 3.9% to 6.8%, a very significant increase.
That is not a significant increase considering the context.
So do you understand? Do you realize there was no way the second group could have they lived far away from Britain, but even so, it was only the success rate for the dog picture that went up. Why? How did that happen? What?
Oh, wait, does this have something to do with that field or whatever it was that you were talking about earlier? A field not visible to the eye. So, if more people know the answer, then that information will pass through the field. Huh.
Psych!
Psych!
Well, I mean, but the results of that experiment really aren't anything to go by. They could have easily falsified them. In the end, I'm sure they were just in it for the ratings. They are a TV station after all.
Right! I really thought you were serious.
Of course not. Like I told you before, I'm sure it's all just pseudoscience.
Oh, okay.
All right, we've got the key.
Word.
Word.
A field not visible to the naked eye. Morphogenetic field.
Okay. I have that key. Key. Seven door. Cheeky, it's fine that I've gotten this key on a previous playthrough, right? Yeah, that's a test that proves nothing. Oh, you're right. I have to do this one for Rando, so you can see the funniest conversation in the world.
Oh, it's cold in here. What is this place?
Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got...
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But...
I'm just gonna put it on auto.
Huh?
No! Why did it suddenly close? Ah! The knob's frozen.
But why?
It looks like the pipe next to it broke, and...
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. Like, if you say so. Hold on. It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
Oh.
God damn it.
Anyway, let's find a way out.
I wonder what the temperature, like,
Get
where
moving.
they were living was.
We're
Because
gonna
I
be
feel like they're all
permanent
from, like,
residents.
Japan.
Two
So
hands are
temperature...
better than none.
So why...
I'm sure we'll...
Before they
we'll
got
figure
kidnapped, why were
something
June and Junpei dressed like it's the middle of winter?
Yeah.
While Santa
You're
was
right.
dressed like he's going
Let's just take a
to,
good
like, break dance on the
stroll,
beach.
okay?
Right.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
He's freezing to death.
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
Here we go, baby.
Oh, how do you know that?
Everyone knows that, Junpei.
Despite my looks, I am the clean... The queen of random knowledge.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yeah, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose,
Okay,
aren't you?
enjoy your favourite Roblox roguelike where? I'll tell you when
Guys,
we start getting into
Don't
new
you think
territory.
that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
It did seem rather odd.
It is kind of weird.
But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure.
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called
Oh wait, next time you're in
sublimating
chemistry
and
class,
change
you should
immediately
ask about
from a solid
sublimation
state to a
and
gaseous
different
one.
pressures. That'll
See,
impress
that
the
is
teacher.
weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide?
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32
And this is fake.
degrees.
The carbon stuff is real. This stuff is fake. This one's not real.
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
New water.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96
Russia
degrees called?
Experiment.
I heard it's called Ice 9.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll
So
solidify.
yeah, there's a
So you could
there
think of
was
it
at
as
some
a
point, I
polymorph of
think,
H2O.
some sort of experiment to make a new
Here,
kind of water
Think of it like diamonds
Uh,
and graphite.
by the Soviet
They're
Union,
both made of carbon,
and they thought they
right?
found something, but then they found out that it was
But
just that their
depending on the structure
their
of the
like pipes were
crystallization,
contaminated.
the hardness and structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup. Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin?
This also isn't real.
For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize,
Jeez.
even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees.
Oh,
Before
Tiki,
that
you'll
day, no matter
like to know
how
this.
glycerin
I
was cooled,
googled
it refused
glycerin
to crystallize.
crystallization.
But
This
once the
study that she's
crystallization
talking
had
about,
begun,
there was some sort of
almost
study
like-
in the 1920s
how do I
about
put it?
glycerin
it
crystallization,
was almost like
and
all
then
the
it got
glycerin in the
exaggerated and
world was
became an urban myth.
communicating.
So the urban legend that she's talking about is real
Communicating in some way that we can't
as an urban
sense.
legend, but it's not real as a real
And
thing.
now it's happening everywhere.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9?
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees? Man.
It'd be the end of the world. At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic.
That's nitroglycerin. Glycerin is slightly
I
different.
know I'm kinda at fault
Doesn't
here,
have the
but we
nitro in
can't
it.
be screwing around anymore. So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland.
Actually, Iceland has nice temperature.
I freaking hate the cold.
It's Greenland. It's full of
So
ice.
let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
They are freezing to death.
Selfish, isn't he?
So
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
I forgot that Junpei calls him selfish for not wanting to freeze to death after talking for 5 minutes about a fake ice. Okay. Just gonna skip to here. Go way out. Okay, where's the stupid... Ah, fuck, not the operating room again. Jiki, is there anything specific I have to do here, or do I just kind of just go through it? Woman. I'm glad Ace wasn't in this room. He'd steal the mannequin. Oh, I didn't ask the right question. Oh!
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste.
Did it? It says this one's fine. Oh, you're right. I need to do this. Shout out to time travel. Do 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 do. Why do I think all our parts were missing in the first place? Shit. Fuck. Fuck me. I'm gonna trust my past self. Fine.
Hey, wait.
Okay. Ah, fuck. Oh, god damn it. I fucked up. I have to do everything again. Yeah, but I skipped like conversations, but it still said there was something that was locked, so I don't know. But luckily, I remember what to do now, so. Cheeky, do you have any conversations that we can do so that I'm not just doing a puzzle in silence for 20 minutes? I've already fucked up the run. I have to do it again. I can't listen to you because it's like the delay between me and chat is like so long. Like if I ask you a question and you answer it as soon as you hear it, in that time I've waited for what feels like 5 years. My theories, see, now that you've asked me, I don't have any theories
Yes, they wanna-
anymore.
Of course, everything.
Do you remember?
But it's scary, so I have to. Okay. Perfecto. Leave. Leave. Oops. Leave. That's great, Akane. You weren't chatting because you're playing Limbus Cup and Continue. That's fair. Oh my gosh. I just knocked my I just knocked my headphones, so I'm gonna have to exit the game and open it again. Okay, hold on. Okay, menu, save. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. Why do I think everyone is here? Ace, I now know, is here because the whole game is to kill him. And then, I think, if I go through the numbers, Ace, because Zero wants this guy dead. Snake, because he's a previous participant of the Nonary Games. And Zero just kind of wanted to say hi. Who's 3? Santa? I think Santa's sister, maybe, was a previous participant of the Nonary Games. And I think she died in the Nonary Games. And then I think then Clover is there because she is the sister of Snake, and I guess they were like just next to each other. Oops. Oh, that's how I get the items out. So it like fit thematically. And then I don't know what else. 5 is Junpei. Junpei, I think, because he's connected to Akane, who I think is Zero and a previous participant in the Nonary Games. And then Akane, because she's Zero and also who's hosting the Nonary Games because she previously was in them. Who's after Akane? Lotus, because her daughter,
Hey, Junpei.
one of, or at least some of her daughters were in the previous Nonary games. And then
Well, that's not my only reason.
cool. And I think that I think Zero is picking people who have connections to the Nonary games, because then they will be able to, when they figure out what is happening, they will team up and kick Ace's ass. So, and then the ninth man, I think, is a member of Cradle Pharmaceuticals, and I think Zero purposely gave him the number 9 bracelet to bait Ace into killing him, because Ace doesn't know who anyone is, so. I left the operating room because I went back and there were ones that said that they were still locked, so I had to. Oh, whatever. Okay, back in operating room. Dum, dum. Because I think Zero is hoping that with everyone else involved, they will take it to the media and destroy Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Okay, do I remember where the key was? I do not. Oh, yes I do. Oh, and I think I forgot to take the scaffold as well. Okay, now I don't remember what to do. Hate this game. Where is the key? Is it? Oh, I forgot to look here. That's what I use on this. How do I think the Egyptian mummy is going to pay off? I think it will pay off in the second game. Oh, I still have the key, so I can use the other room as well. Oh man, it was 3. Yeah, I'll just solve the puzzle again. What is it? Yeah. So that's 3, 7. 4. 9. Oh wait, what was that? No, yeah, I needed 3. So yeah, and there is 4. 3, 4, 9. Human arm! Woo! And a fake heart. Epic. Oh, I need these.
You think we should go back?
Yeah, I think that's probably best. Hey, 7.
Oh,
Is that a medicine bot?
I got curious.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
Yeah, that's right.
What kind of medicine is that?
It's not medicine, I think.
Why would they have something like that?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Clean what up?
Fuck if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
What, you remember something?
Yeah. Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before. But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made it, once the crystals turned into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory. They'd been making crystals the same way, with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate. In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. After it happened at the first factory, it just... was like... Man, how do you say it?
The characters in this, the way the world is built, it feels like it's a world that was only like started to exist 50 years ago, and everything prior was just like a backstory, like, and then suddenly everything became real.
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What?
Yeah, June told me.
Junpei told Seven the story he'd heard from June in the freezer in the kitchen. How one day glycerin began to crystallize, and the story of the ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. When Junpei was done, Seven looked thoughtful and absent-mindedly rubbed a cigar on his chin.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Seven squinted. His eyes stared off into space as if he was trying desperately to focus on something far away.
Do you? Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice.
PB. Suddenly, Seven's eyes shot open.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on. The woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
It became clear to Seven that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank. One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled.
My compass was swallowed by the sea. I'm turning to the you and me. Let us be free.
It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood, no nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open, so what they did. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible. But there was one body that didn't thaw, and that was...
The girl in the coffin!
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. And a month passed, and another. And it was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice. Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. After a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
Junpei gulped.
Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Seven nodded slowly and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain. You've heard that name before, right?
Lord Gord... Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic's sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic, and he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic, but nobody knows where. He died in 1931, and apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden.
However, what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Seven threw his hands up in defeat.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Before Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim, as Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey! What are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here!
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez!
Yeah, so it might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
Alice.
That mummy wasn't just a... They say that she was frozen, the story says. Even though it was carried through the desert?
Then was that Egyptian priest? Did the water in her body? No, that's not... There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Still need another one. Okay. Oops. There we go. Look at that. Oh, I can just do them. Okay. Okay, that... Yeah, that should be everything. Cheeky, is there anything I need to do now, or can I just finish the puzzle? Oops. I'm gonna save.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh? Oh, God damn it. Where the hell did she... okay.
Sure thing.
Hey, Clover. What's wrong?
Oh, this
Come
is
on.
probably the
Let's
conversation.
get out of here.
She didn't respond. If she hadn't been standing up and breathing, Junpei might have thought that she was dead.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John?
It wasn't the best joke, but it was something, an attempt to lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood stock still and said nothing.
Hey, Clover. Can you hear me?
Perhaps it was something he'd said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly her mouth opened and she whispered in a dry, dead voice.
My brother might be dead.
Huh?
That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm going to be next.
Suddenly the operating room felt very, very cold.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. I'm gonna give her the 4-leaf clover. Because I assume that's right, even though either Cheeky has not said anything, or my chat has not updated. So... Oh, cool, excellent. Cheeky, your last 20 messages never came through. Yeah. I just had to refresh, and now I've got them again.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given earlier.
It's in my pocket somewhere.
No, Cheeky, you
Here
don't
it
understand. I had to like leave the YouTube page that I'm watching so that I can see the chat, and come back to the chat, and then suddenly you had like 20 past messages appeared. Sometimes it happens where like chat just won't update. So he reached into his pocket and dug it out.
A 4-leaf clover.
Santa had given it to him in the second classroom. He held it out to Clover.
Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck. That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for. Take it. Use it as a good luck charm.
He pressed the 4-leaf clover into her hand.
Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck. Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead. He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
Clover stared at the 4-leaf clover in her hand. He could see tears start to form at the corners of her eyes.
Thank you.
Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with the baggy elves of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Her tears made small wet circles on the floor.
Thank you.
She said it again. Then she looked up at Junpei and seemed to choke down the last of her grief. She did her best to smile. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage.
Oh, come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
But still, she didn't move.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
For a moment, his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him, aside from the dictionary definition.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. I mean, that you knew about the 4-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
No one could possibly know about the four-leaf clover if they weren't a human experiment?
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
Clover looked away. The four-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment, then finally spoke.
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Of course you can.
Clover slipped the four-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best, he thought, to save them until Clover had finished.
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Fields that you can't see?
You know, that's true, Cheeky. Or maybe that's just the normal ratio of human experiment victims in this universe. Like, you go out on the street, you're a human experiment victim. Oh, yeah. Clover nodded.
Like, think about this.
She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right? But is he really John?
Huh?
Ship of Theseus, let's go! All Junpei could think was she has finally completely lost it.
Isn't this like Locke's socks?
Locke's socks?
Or the ship of Theseus?
Ship of Theseus! Tiki, can you take a screenshot of Clover saying, "Oh, the ship of Theseus," and then send that to Zach? Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
No?
Junpei shook his head.
Really?
Clover laughed.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
Well, I guess I'd patch it up, get some cloth, and close up the hole.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch, I suppose.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches until eventually the original cloth of the sock is totally gone. Once you get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
Well, that's tough.
No. I think with socks, once you've got like 2 patches in them, you're like, yeah, this is fucked up socks. Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the Locke socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
It was an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued.
Hey, do you think it's the same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is...
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those, and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Was that mannequin really John?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once.
Congrats on killing the red mist way.
Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further,
those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
The silence was broken by Seven.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you're right, Chiki. How does... Junpei knows all this insane, like, insapification, but he hasn't heard of the ship of Theseus.
We were just
Just...
playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed towards the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused expression.
Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
You're a dick.
Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out of the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter quick key.
Alright, I'm gonna...
You don't need to...
Julio. Oh man, what was in this room again? Oh yeah, Cheeky, what do I do in this room for the thing?
Oh, pocket watch. Might I
Oh
take a
right,
look at
it's
it?
the one with like Ace, like it's so cute.
Hey, man. What are you doing over in this room?
Oh, I just thought I'd come check up on the two of you. Is there a problem?
Yeah, there is. You checked on us. Now get out of here. We split this stuff up for a reason, alright?
Cool. I just play through.
That's a lie. I just want to talk to Clover alone. That's why I sent Ace to the wheelhouse. There's something I want to ask her, and I don't want anyone to overhear us. I'm pretty sure Clover won't talk if there's anyone else around. That's why when Ace showed up again, I got a little...
Oh, I see. Of course.
He looked Junpei over and glanced at Clover.
I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck.
Ace gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and left. Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. Oh, hold on guys, I'm gonna have to mute for a second. This will be just a second, don't worry. Wait. Okay, back. Sorry, don't worry about it. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution.
What was that about?
She was clearly suspicious, and with good reason.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Junpei's eyes widened, and he held his hands in a gesture of innocence.
Oh, no, it's not like that.
What's it like then?
I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now.
What story?
About the experiment.
Oh, god damn it, I nudged my headphones again. Yep. Dude, my setup is whack.
What story?
About the experiment, remember? The one you started to tell me in the operating room? You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago.
Clover bit her lip. She stared down at the floor for several long moments, and when she spoke it was barely audible.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm just not in the mood, okay? You understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother. I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that to my brother? I can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're gonna pay for it. I promise. So...
Her shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung up on her lips while she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked up at Junpei, her eyes fierce and angry.
Junpei, who do you think did it?
Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped.
Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people.
You're right. So, what does that mean?
Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out. Who could have opened door 3 with Snake? Well, really, who and who, or who and who?
You mean it could have been 4 people?
Well, technically it's possible.
I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely.
Why?
I'll tell you later. Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now?
Okay, got it. Let's do that then.
Then who do you think it could be?
Junpei crossed his arms and thought. Snake's bracelet number was 2. Which 2 bracelets number a digital root of 3? Which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2 would give a digital root of 3? Yep. At least 7? No, it has to be, who was it that she accused? Oh, she accused...
Would it be Santa and Seven? The digital root for Snake, Santa, and Seven is 3. Wait, hold on. Are Santa and Seven?
What's wrong?
Clover looked at Junpei and he looked back at her. There was no point in hiding it.
Well, I thought about it.
That's what I thought.
She looked less surprised than he'd expected.
Santa and 7. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works.
Hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? Well, all I said is that those two would have been able to open door 3 with your brother. There might be other possibilities.
Well, what other possibilities?
He didn't have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover spoke.
Are you saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people? I really don't think that's likely.
Why not?
Can I borrow your pen and paper?
Clover put her hand out expectantly.
Yeah, here.
Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened the notebook and wrote down several simple addition problems. Eventually, she had 8, which proved a digital root of 3.
What's this?
These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people. These 8 combinations are the only possible ones.
Oh, I see.
Junpei,
Yeah?
I can trust you, right?
Of course. Why would you need to ask that?
Really?
Yeah,
So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right?
of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too. The ones with 4.
So, what does that leave?
A and E. Wait, it can't be A.
Why?
Because June's in that one. There's no way in hell she'd do something like that.
Are you sure?
I bet my life on it.
Okay then. I can cross off 8.
Yeah,
Well,
E.
do you know what this means?
Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together.
Do you think that's likely? If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious. I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right?
Well, you do have a point.
And besides, if Ace and Seven are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them. But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were killers, why wouldn't they?
Shout out to Seven stopping Clover from getting serial murdered by Ace in the shower room. Her voice was calm, but Junpei only had to look her in the eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears forming at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she had been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his heart tighten.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I understand now. It seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
Then that means there's a good chance it.
that's how it looks.
But why would they do it?
There was a moment of silence.
Their motive.
He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was close, so close to the answer. When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. Hey guys. He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke.
Have I interrupted something?
What is it?
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
He turned on his heel and walked back towards the wheelhouse.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Junpei looked over at Clover. He gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace.
What did you want to talk about?
Ace looked at Junpei and smiled, perhaps more of a smirk than a smile.
There was something I wanted to check.
Yeah? What's that?
If you'll excuse...
With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
I'm just checking.
No, stop!
He reached for Ace's arm, but it was already too late. In the older man's hands were the pieces of paper Junpei had pulled up and hidden in his pocket.
Just as I thought. What exactly are these pieces of paper hiding in your pocket? You switched them, didn't you, when we voted? Well, I can't say that I care. I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted, despite your mischief.
Well, Seymour, I made it despite your directions.
Then, why did you...
Oh, simple curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it.
Ace smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, and then turned it on his heel and left. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach begin to tense.
Damn. Huh. Z.E. It's like he's making fun of us. What do you think?
He's unclear. Yep.
Nothing.
What about him? Do you think that's really Zero?
There's no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already?
Yeah. Right. Well, even if he wasn't one of us, there's no way that man could be Zero.
Huh?
Don't you get it? The letters that spell Zero on the TV screen, the captain's clothes he's got on, and of course, the bracelet with a zero on it. It's too obvious. Look, this is Zero right here. This dead body is Zero. Isn't that kind of it?
You're right. Only an idiot wouldn't see through something like that.
Isn't that right, Ace? Hey, Ace, is this Zero? Do you think this is Zero, Ace?
No, that's not the point. So I'm not trying to make fun of them for thinking a trick like this would work. I'm sure they didn't think it would work. Which makes me wonder. I think this is a challenge. A challenge from the person who's really behind all of this. He's making fun of us. Don't you get it? If whoever killed this guy really wanted us to think this corpse was Zero, they'd never have put a bracelet on him. Walking around with a Zero bracelet would be like hanging a sign around your neck that said, "I did it!" Anyone with a brain would be able to see that this guy is supposed to look like everything Zero is supposed to be. Just like we did. The killer must have known we wouldn't think he was Zero and put the bracelet on him anyway. Do you know why?
Why?
Like I said, he's mocking us. Too bad, suckers. This isn't Zero. Where's the real me then? See if you can catch me. It's the same bad joke a lot of criminals like to play. They'll just sit back and watch people run in circles.
That's really twisted. But it almost seems kind of childish.
Yeah, you're right. It's really childish. It's like it's just a game to whoever this person is. That's what seems funny to me.
Junpei bent down next to the corpse.
Alright, let's get back to the point. Who killed this man?
I don't know.
And what's this guy's deal? Who is he?
How would I know that? If I knew anything, I would have told you.
You have no idea who he is.
Why would I?
Junpei sat back on his haunches and thought.
We should check and see if he's got anything on him that might tell us who he is. Give me a hand here, Clover.
Huh?
We gotta flip him over. How else are we gonna search his pockets?
Clover didn't move.
Okay, fine. Guess I'll do it.
Junpei had no choice but to move the body on his own.
Here we go.
He grabbed hold of an area not completely covered in blood and shoved. It took a moment, but eventually Junpei felt the man's bulk begin to shift. But just as it did,
Huh?
something fell from the man's left wrist.
Hey, it's the
bracelet with Zero on the face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only two ways to do so. One, you escape from this ship to Lord Hartley, which is 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confine of the ship, or the eggs out of Laura's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Oh god.
Junpei stared at the bracelet.
This man... he's dead, isn't he?
Huh?
No, it's just... I guess I didn't really think about it until right now. If his bracelet's off, that means he's dead.
Well, it's pretty obvious that he's dead. You don't really need to look at his bracelet to figure out that he's dead.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It is pretty obvious. He looks a lot better than the other bodies we've seen, though. You know? I mean, if there wasn't all this blood, he'd almost look like he was still alive. I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but he kind of has it better, you know?
Junpei, one of the corpses you're talking about is Clover's brother.
Dying from a bomb going off inside of you? I mean, that's just...
Junpei!
Some of Snake's bones went right through his skin. I think the explosion must have thrown him against a wall or something. There was a broken bone just sticking out of his left arm. And...
Suddenly, Junpei realized what he was saying. How could he have been so cruel? He clapped his hands over his mouth. But it was already too late. He turned to look at Clover. She was glaring at him furiously.
What did you just say?
Her words sounded cold. He knew an apology could hardly atone for what he'd done, but he tried anyway.
Oh man, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean...
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What did you say about his arm?
Arm?
Yes, his left arm. You said it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but I mean, didn't you see it too?
Of course not. I could barely look at him. There's no way I was gonna see the details.
Clover took a quick deep breath.
Are you sure it was his left arm?
Junpei thought back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And he had a broken bone, right?
What the hell are you getting at here?
Just shut up and answer me!
She shoved her face closer to his. He could see the fire in her eyes. Junpei winced and swallowed.
Yeah, he did. It was pretty bad, too. The bone was sticking out of the arm.
No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Clover's expression changed.
Clover? What's wrong? Look, I'm sorry if I said anything.
Suddenly she was crying. Junpei wasn't sure what to do.
Thank you.
It was close to the last thing he had expected to hear.
Huh? What are you...
Junpei had no idea what had just happened. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of thanks, and he couldn't understand why she would have chosen that moment to begin crying. So he simply stood there confused.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She thanked him again, and then something even stranger happened. Clover threw herself into Junpei's surprised arms.
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy!
Why?
The body in the shower room, it isn't his! It isn't my brother!
Huh?
It's not Snake!
Why on earth would you think that?
Because his left arm is...
She stopped herself.
I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be talking about this.
Junpei decided it would be prudent not to press her for any more information. If she did not wish to tell him, she certainly had a reason for doing so. Perhaps more importantly, however, if Clover was so certain, then she was likely right. That meant that the body in the shower room wasn't Snake. It wasn't much, but that knowledge lifted some of the weight from Junpei's heart.
But he's still alive. I'm so happy.
Tears shone in her eyes. Those tears melted Junpei's heart. As she cried, she had pushed herself up against his chest like a child. Junpei put his arms around her and held her tight.
I'm so glad!
Huh?
Junpei, you were right!
Huh?
No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That?
It was a laminated bookmark with a 4-leaf clover.
I only made it here because you gave me this. I was suspicious of everybody. I was angry and miserable. But because I had this four-leaf clover, because of what you said to me,
Yeah.
Junpei hadn't thought his words would have had such an effect on her. Her words were making him feel a little awkward.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She looked up at him. He scratched his nose and pretended to notice something interesting elsewhere in the room.
Oh, if you really want to thank somebody, you should be thanking Santa.
Santa? Why?
Well, he was the one who gave me that thing. And the words for each leaf, I got that from him too.
Oh.
And suddenly, Clover broke away from Junpei.
Huh?
He looked confused. He hadn't thought she'd react that poorly. Clover began to pace across the room. Because Junpei, she was like convinced that Santa was Zero. Or like at least the person that killed her. 6 steps to the person that killed him, sorry. 6 steps to the left, 6 steps to the right, another 6 to the left, and then she stopped.
Did Santa really tell you those things?
Her eyes were serious, but not angry.
Yeah, he did. Did I say something wrong?
Oh no, not at all. In fact, this could be really good news, I think.
You think?
Santa knew about the words and the clover. The only people who should know about that are the other subjects.
Subjects?
The other people who were in the experiment 9 years ago, with my brother and me.
Oh, she was in it too.
But he's blind, and I was part of the Nevada test group. So neither of us would be able to recognize the faces of the people who were on this boat.
Oh, okay. So that means that Ace was... Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, time out.
Junpei held up his hands. He took a deep breath and let it out.
Let's just calm down for a second, okay? Start from the top. Don't start with the end and then jump to the middle. You gotta start with 1 and then move to 2 and 3. If you don't tell me stuff in the right order, I'm never gonna be able to figure it out.
Okay.
Clover nodded.
Alright, let's start with this experiment. What happened on this boat 9 years ago?
Do you know about morphogenetic fields?
Morphogenetic fields?
He did, and the realization sent chills down Junpei's spine.
All right, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
I think Lotus mentioned something like that.
Junpei recounted what Lotus had told him earlier. Clover nodded.
Telepathy, huh? Well, that's not really it, but I suppose it's similar.
So they were testing telepathy on this?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what exactly did they have you guys do?
I did see the spoiler that Santa was psychic and was like, okay. And then you tried to gaslight me about it, even though I was about to find out anyway.
The same thing that we're doing now. Exactly the same thing.
What?
The Nonary game. 9 people were put on this boat, and 9 others were put in the building in Nevada, and the game started.
Junpei grabbed the sides of his head.
Look, I'm sorry, but I don't get it. What do the Nonary game and some telepathy experiment have to do with each other? Am I missing something here?
Clover bit her lip. She blinked back sudden tears. What had happened to her in Nevada?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. You know how sometimes when you're up against a really tough problem, and then the answer just kind of pops in your head? That's an epiphany. And what you learn from the epiphany can be transmitted with telepathy. When you add danger
You
to
lied
the
to me about
equation,
this game
then it gets
so
easier
much.
to transmit that information over telepathy.
So you're saying the Nonary game was supposed to introduce that element of danger?
Yeah, but it couldn't be just any old danger. It had to be life and death. And someone did actually die. A girl.
Huh.
Junpei felt the sudden grip of despair on his heart. Something deep and distant and powerful squeezed, and for a moment he felt very, very empty and alone.
She was on the boat with my brother. I was in Nevada. I never met her, but I did hear her name. Her name was...
The sound of the door opening was like a gunshot. Junpei spun around.
Oh, my apologies. I seem to have disturbed you.
At the most opportune time.
Ace, you two must have strong stomachs. I can't imagine how you could stay in this room for so long.
I don't walk into spoilers that often. I knew like 3 things about this game. I knew about Zero. I knew Santa was psychic, and I know that in the second game. I know that they think they're on the Titanic, and then also I know in the second game there's a virus. Ace glanced down at the floor, at the corpse covered in blood.
At any rate, Junpei, would you be so kind as to come and help me with something?
You know, in a secondary location.
I'm having a little trouble, and I could really use your assistance. Come on. It'll only take a moment.
I don't want Ace to hear us. We can talk about this later.
Huh? Hey.
Clover ignored him. From outside, Junpei could hear Ace calling.
Junpei? What are you doing in there? Hurry up!
Grumbling to himself, Junpei stumped off towards the communications office. Oh, and I knew that Clover killed people with an axe, and I know of the meme that Santa has a gun. Oh, how come Junpei came up with funny things that these things could be? He doesn't mention the fact that this just looks like a guy. My hand did slip.
Alice, does this mean... What the hell is this?
They are hieroglyphs, a form of writing used in ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt?
That's right.
Can you read them?
How does Junpei know all this stuff, but he doesn't know the ship of Theseus, and he doesn't know what hieroglyphs are?
Of course. I can't. What would make you think I could?
What the hell?
This is the most suspicious Ace has been. Junpei flipped through a few more pages. It wasn't just 1 or 2 pages that were covered in the strange symbols. Every single page was covered in them.
Whoa, the whole thing's like that.
Trying to read them was pointless. Junpei wasn't going to waste any more time with them. He made to close the file.
Huh? What's... Oh, a key card.
There was a symbol on it that reminded Junpei of the symbol for the Saturn and Mercury key cards. This one, however, had a dot in the centre of the male symbol.
Uranus. That's the Uranus symbol.
Junpei looked over to see Ace examining the card. In addition to the Uranus symbol, there are 3 words engraved on the card as well. Bottom deck library.
Something's written on the bottom. Bottom deck library. This must be the key to the library, then.
So it would seem.
Bottom deck library.
Oh!
7 said something like...
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic.
Could beneath the navel mean the bottom deck? And the Forest of Knowledge is the library? Then could Alice be in a room somewhere beyond the library?
What's wrong? Something on your mind?
Junpei blinked. Only then did he notice Ace looking at him, curiosity and concern written across his face in equal parts.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Is that so? What about?
Well, don't laugh, okay?
There was no reason for Junpei to hide his thoughts. He began to explain his theory to Ace. Then he stopped. It wouldn't make any sense if Ace didn't know who Alice was supposed to be. So he told Ace everything June had told him.
The Egyptian priestess, an Ice 9. Interesting.
And the woman who wouldn't melt, who was recovered from the Titanic disaster? They called her All Ice, which eventually turned into Alice, and she was purchased by an English millionaire who called himself Lord Gordain. According to Seven, this ship is where he hid Alice.
And you think that he hid her in a small room, beyond the library on the bottom deck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a theory.
Ace stared off into the distance, his hand slowly and absent-mindedly stroking his beard. After a few moments, his hand stopped. He turned slowly to look at Junpei, and his brows drew together.
Junpei, have you ever heard of the term CAS?
Cass?
It stands for Cells Alive System. It is an advanced technology for freezing and preserving organic matter. Put simply, it is a technique that allows one to freeze things without the formation of ice crystals. Normally, if you freeze something fresh, water within its cells expands as it crystallizes, damaging the cell membrane. CAS, however, works differently. The object to be frozen is supercooled using magnetic fields, and then frozen instantly and uniformly, giving ice crystals no time to form.
To me, CAS reads as Create a Sim... Oh no, I did the headphones again. God damn it. Any future people who watch this playthrough for some reason, sorry about the headphones thing. It was worth it for the Create a Sim joke.
It was originally
Oh my gosh, I
developed
should
for the
make some of these
preservation of
characters.
food, as an alternative
I
to
am
the normal
100%.
freezing process.
After I'm done with this, I'm gonna make once I'm done with the stream, I'm gonna make Snake and Clover in Sims 3. Oh yeah,
Now,
baby.
however, there are rumors that it can be used for other things.
What do you mean, other things?
Well, there are obvious medical uses, but perhaps also space travel.
Space travel? Are you serious?
Surely you've heard of suspended animation. Cryogenic freezing? It's a fairly common idea in science fiction books and films. People are sometimes frozen for especially lengthy journeys through space.
That was when Junpei understood what Ace was suggesting.
Whoa, wait a minute there.
Ace looked at him and raised an eyebrow.
Are you saying that Alice was frozen using that CAS thing?
Well, I'm sure the possibility is quite low, but it is a possibility. If this special ice you call Ice 9 does indeed exist, and casts were used to freeze her into that sort of ice instantaneously.
You think she could be alive?
Well, I can't say for sure, of course. I'm only talking about possibilities. The melting point for Ice 9 is 96 degrees, right? If she were put somewhere where she could reach that temperature...
That's nuts. Are you really saying she could have defrosted and started walking about?
You're quite right. It does sound unbelievable. But if she had, then we would have an explanation for the man we found dead on the floor.
You mean the guy dressed like a captain?
Yes. He was dead when we found him. Clearly, he was murdered. But if he was murdered, it couldn't have been one of us. That would be impossible. In order to enter the captain's quarters, one must first open door 1. That door that requires the Earth key prevented us from accessing door 1. Who was it that opened that door?
Santa and Lotus.
Right. Clearly, the two of them could not have opened door 1, or any other door for that matter. Who else then could have done so?
Nobody.
After Santa and Lotus used the Earth key, they turned back and met up with me and June. Then we returned to the large hospital room, and while we'd gone into the shower room, Ace, Seven, and Clover had stayed behind. But it's impossible for those three to open door 1. But what about when June and I took the elevator to door 2? No, still won't work.
Yeah, funnily enough, you're the one that spoiled me on the ancient Egyptian freezing thing not being real, so...
We were only gone 5 minutes. No human being could have run to the captain's quarters, killed that guy in there, and run back that fast.
It would be impossible for any of us to be the murderer. That being the case, who could have killed him? Wouldn't it make sense if his killer was someone who had been in the ship for some time? A person like that would know the ship well. They would know the locations of all the hidden passages and secret doors. The numbered door would mean nothing to someone like that. It would be a simple thing for them to enter the captain's quarters.
Then you're saying the killer was Alice?
It was Junpei's turn to raise an eyebrow. Ace drew his thumb across his lips thoughtfully.
Well, this is all only one possible theory.
All ice. Alice. Is she really somewhere on the ship?
Junpei had only one clue. The keycard in his hand.
Maybe this card will give me access to the Forest of Knowledge. And the big mystery. What could be there beyond the Forest of Knowledge? Anyway, whatever. It's gonna have to wait. I can't do anything right now. I'll come back to this later.
He gripped the keycard tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket. Hey. Okay. It goes. They stepped out of the captain's hallway quarters and into another hallway. The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backward L.
All right, let's go.
Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the straightaway. He ran and ran and ran. At the end of the hallway was a door.
That's the next door.
He made straight for it.
Wait, a piece of paper.
He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor.
This is...
Fucking map again.
Map of the ship's interior for ADET. I found a map for this floor.
I see.
With that, he began running again past Junpei.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I should keep this, though.
Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace, but something stopped him.
Hey, where's... Damn it, what the hell is she up to?
You have to leave in about half an hour. There's... Excuse me, there's that much left? Okay, hold on.
Clover!
Huh?
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Okay, yeah, I'll probably end soon then. And then if Zach doesn't stream, or if he's streaming something like Roblox, then I'll finish it.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in...
Oh, this? A note.
A note?
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes. It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right.
Hey, Junpei, Clover! What are you two doing?
He's getting mad. I'll show it to you later, alright? Come on, we gotta hurry.
From the look of that pocket, it doesn't Jeez. What? For crying out loud.
Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
The big stairs. So this is where it ends up, just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His IC after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realised the same thing.
Ace? Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
Really?
Let's join them. Jumpy,
What's up?
we found it.
Found what?
We found it.
What did you find?
The last door. We found door 9.
What? Come on! Okay.
Well, if that's the...
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
Jumpy, we finally made it.
Yeah, it's finally time. We've reached the end.
Something's bothering me. 7 of us are on 2 people. Is there a way?
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left.
Hey!
Let's go, Jumpy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll end it when they're in the room with the 9 door, I think. So my throat does hurt a bit. As a group, they piled onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to E-Deck. It looked familiar.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier. After we split off from you guys, after that, we headed down another hallway. It took us toward the... We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it. Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that was...
So, on...
That's right.
So, in other words, you came from that side?
Yeah.
So...
Over here.
By the way, you know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Huh?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
What?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus. What's their digital route?
9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they'd wanted to.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them. He said, we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you.
Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Perhaps Jude had sensed Junpei's concern.
I don't mean that 7 and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first.
Is that so?
Junpei was about to respond when 7 suddenly stopped.
We're here.
In front of them stood a door.
So, is this...
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see 7's face, but he could see him nod.
There's no other place for us to go.
Nope. Just look around. There's
Actually,
a big old iron
I
wall
said
at the end
I'd
of the
stop when
hallway.
we get in this room. If the first thing they do is open the coffin, then I will be able to watch
The other
that. I
hallways
want
on
to
the
see the
left and right are
reunion.
blocked by metal grates.
I see.
It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
All right, let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. He took a deep breath and followed.
Oh. The 9 door.
There's a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish.
We're finally here.
Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant.
No doubt about it. This is door 9. Oh, finally! This is the last.
Junpei felt a flood of emotions wash over him. He felt a chill down his back and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of complete silence.
Junpei, look behind you.
He turned around.
Behind? What?
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw.
Why? A door and a 9. There's another one. Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
His words came slowly and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door, set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room. There was no mistaking the number, and if proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door.
There's a red there too! That means... And of course it won't open.
He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real.
But why? Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
I don't know about that. It seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room?
No, I don't think I searched it very well. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then, that means...
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Junpei began to mutter to himself.
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up, right?
That's not gonna work. You've got a notebook and a pen, right?
Yeah, here.
Look at this. You get it? The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit. There's only 8 possibilities, so...
If 3 people go through the door, if 4 go through...
Yeah. No way.
Come to think of it, what is this? It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony, but what kind? Is that an altar? A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be.
No, Junpei, open the coffin.
Okay, I give up. I figured if we sat around here long, I guess nobody's got the...
What are you talking about?
What? You got... Fine. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong. She... screw it! If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
Wait, this means...
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing?
Yeah, I'll stay behind.
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot?
Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered.
No, I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna have to owe you for getting out of here.
The rest of them began to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
I don't like that. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
And stealing all of my credit.
Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Are you... agreeing?
Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said...
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
Santa in love with Seven Oak?
What the hell are you...
What? You don't get... I can't leave just one person. 3 people, including... That's my proposal. No, those are my orders.
What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
What the fuck is happening?
What?
3, 2, 1.
Santa was so fast Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and... he had June! Alright, I'm gonna end it here. I think this is a good place to end it before things go too crazy. Just gonna save. Okay, there it is. There you go, Cheeky. You can go babysit and I'll play The Sims.